Greetings, Kevin Clark here. We're here to have a conversation with Nikhil, an ISSIP or ISSIP award winner. Nikhil, how are you?
I'm doing well, Kevin. How are you?
Good. I understand you'd prefer to be called Nick, so we'll call you Nick for the rest of the interview. You're with, as your shirt says, with Cisco. Tell me a little bit about your background at Cisco.
Oh, it's been a long journey for me with Cisco. I think it's been more than 13 years right now. I started off with Cisco customer services, right? What we call the CX organization, the customer experience. So I started off with CX labs. I spent about a year with the CX labs. That's where all the Cisco recreates happen, right? Like when our customer faces a problem, that's the place engineers go to reproduce the problem, right? So that we don't impact the
Mhm.
customer network. Post 1 year, I worked with Cisco TAC, and that was one of my longest journey with Cisco. About 7 years, I was with the Cisco TAC team. Again, troubleshooting, being on the front where the fire happens, and all right. So I spent about 7 years with TAC, and for the last 4 to 5 years, I have been with the managed services organization, right? So right now, I'm a senior technical leader with Cisco, and with managed services, again, we have about 40 customers.
Mhm.
Again, a lot of enterprise service providers, hospital networks, right? And again, part of NOC, it's again a fun day every day, right? So we get to see a lot of problems which are happening, how we are proactively able to solve some of those problems, how we are using automation. So that's been some of the key aspects.
Fantastic. Well, it sounds like every day is an adventure, and that's
It
good.
does.
All right. So you have an interesting uh, vocation, which is great. So what did you win an award for? Tell everybody
Oh,
about your award.
awesome. Our award was on the impact of business category of ISSIP, right? And first of all, thanks for honoring us with this award, right?
Mhm.
We won the award for our virtual engineer on-demand health checks, which was again an automation we built on top of our virtual engine automation framework, right? So if I have to talk about the business challenge, what we solved in here, right? Just to keep it simple, if you talk about how traditionally an engineer was troubleshoot a certain problem, right?
Mhm.
They would need to, like, first of all, there would be a ticket popping up in ITSM letting them know, hey, something bad has happened, right?
Mhm.
And based on that information, they would need to now figure out the device. They would need to log into the customer infrastructure. They would need to log into the device. They would need an understanding of what commands they need to run to fix a certain problem, right? And then from the command, what should I look for to figure out, like, hey, is this a bad output? Is it a good output, right? And then they need to make sure documentation is critical as well, right? They need to make sure all this is captured within the ticket so that customer is well aware, the leadership is aware, the TLs are aware of what's happening as well, right? So it was kind of a time consuming thing which the engineers spent quite a bit of time on. So what we did here was we kind of simplified the procedure for the engineer, right? Within one click, they could do it right from the ITSM, right? Like ServiceNow, for example, right? They don't need to worry about what is the command I need to run, what is a device which is impacted, right? They don't need to log into any infrastructure. All they need to do is like, okay, this is the type of failure which has happened. I just go click the button. You have everything back into your ticket notes. It clearly tells you like, hey, okay, this is something looking bad. This is something you need to look forward to, right? So you have everything within your ticket itself without need to go for anywhere else.
That sounds like it's a great step forward for Cisco, and we're delighted that you have the award. Um, so, what do you think the impact has been so far? Right? Do you think that this has helped the customers in terms of their satisfaction with your response, or has it improved efficiency? What are the outcomes?
Absolutely. Initially, as I said, our project started off with the virtual engineer now, right? Which was
Hmm.
more about like without any human intervention or with minimal human intervention, how could we resolve an incident end to end? Right. So it had the full intelligence to uh, figure out what the problem was, log into the respective devices, run the respective command, parse the required output, take a
Hmm.
decision out of it. If I could do a remediation as well, right? Like some of the remediation might be business impact, which we don't want to do. So the step I'm going to do to remediate the problem, is that going to impact something? It had all that intelligence. So if I have to throw some numbers, annually we handle about 1 million incidents, right? And the initial part of our project, the virtual engineer now, which was end-to-end automation of an incident, it was able to resolve 20% with zero human touch, right? Uh, and again, it used to engage upon 50% of the incidents, but yeah, 30% would get escalated because some of the conditions went beyond the standard things, right? And that's what we looked at part of this innovation, right? The second part of the innovation, which was the on-demand part, where now on that remaining 80%, how could we bring in more efficiency, right? And again, put to look at some of the outcomes. If we see it, to your point as well, it significantly helps us to increase or improve our MTTR, right? The mean time to resolve. And again, as I said, the numbers, it's like right now we resolve like 20% with no human intervention at all. And additionally, with on-demand health checks and all, we again take upon on that 20K to 30K incidents in a year, right? And if you talk about the engineer efficiency, which it brings in, again, it saves about 1,500 hours in a month for our engineers.
Right, that's fantastic. What do you think is right around the corner? What's next, right,
Yeah.
for what you've brought into existence? How are you going to take it to the next level?
So, Kevin, as you know, now generative AI, the machine learning, AI, ML, it's been the buzz right now, right?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
now we want to give that intelligence back to our tools, right? Right now, what the workflows, what we have are kind of statically defined, right? We kind of need to let the workflow not, hey, if for this scenario, you need to do this, for this scenario, you need to do
Hmm.
this, right? Now with AI coming in, we want to now have some dynamic workflows, right, which will have the intelligence to put all these things together, right? So we started off few pilots as well right now, right? So we have few, I would say, simpler use case which we initially targeted off, which is kind of now full-fledged for all of our customers, which is more about like summarization of an incident, for example, right? If customer wants to quickly know, hey, what's going on with my incident, right? We would let AI give that summary back to them, right? Now, if you look at from engineer standpoint, if they need to update the work notes, if they want to resolve a ticket, right? We have AI doing all that for them, right?
Hmm.
Even if you talk about troubleshooting, like if I'm stuck in somewhere, a problem I have not seen, rather than looking at different data sources, I can just ask my model like, hey, what's going on, right? And it's going to give you a summary of, hey, for this set of problem, this is some of the things you should be looking at, right? Or this is some of the commands you need to run. So that's some of the things we have already built. What we are looking for is now some of the agentic workflows, right? We want to take it beyond where now AI is going to let the engineer know that, hey, I have done my analysis, I have found this is a problem, but do you allow me to now take a remediation action as well, right? So based on this, we always need a human to foresee right now, right? I don't think we are there confident to let AI do everything end to end. So we are building a human in the loop where they will take the final call, hey, are we allowed to do this? If yes, go ahead and click approve, and the agentic AI is going to log into the device, do the necessary steps, and then close the incident if needed be.
Fantastic. How did you find out about the ISSIP award program?
Oh, so I heard it from my colleague, right? So the last year ISSIP winner was SR Health, right? So it was from one of my principal engineers here, Nitin, who was a winner of that award, right? So he came and talked about this ISSIP award in one of the forums. He mentioned the value it brought in, right? So yeah, I got to know from him, and this year I decided, okay, this is something I'm going to participate in as well.
Well, that's we're delighted you did. Right, it's great that you and Cisco have received this recognition. Are you familiar with the Give, Get, Grow plans that ISAP? It's basically the way that we share with each other. Do you have any additional plans to share things with ISAP members, going forward?
I have read through some of your forums like AI Collab and all, which you're
Hmm.
doing right now, right? With helping universities and all to bring up on some of the, again, as we talked about AI, which is kind of the buzzword and all, right?
Hmm.
Again, I'm happy to talk about more about some of the innovations we're doing, what we are doing with AI, agentic AI, and all within our business as well, right? So yeah.
All right, that's great. Is there anything that you wish I had asked you that I didn't ask, right, during our time together. So you get to ask the last question.
Honestly, nothing comes to my top of my mind. Again, it was a nice conversation we had. So,
All right, very good. Well, again, congratulations. We're
yeah,
delighted that you have this award. And Nick, we wish you and your colleagues all the best for years ahead. And we look forward to hearing about advances that you're making in these areas, both for Cisco and your customers. All the best, my friend. Cheers.
thank you, Kevin. And again, thank you for the prestigious award.
Yeah, you bet.